It is now time for the MAGE Rage Derby contest, quickly becoming my least favorite segment of the show, but not because of MAGE and our friends at Airdrie Stud. It's only because Jon Green has gone so far ahead in the standings, but we'll get to that. First, you want to go to Airdrie Stud and check out MAGE. If you're making breeding decisions, he stands for just $25,000, even though he was the 149th Kentucky Derby winner. He was the leading 3-year-old of 2023 by earnings, and he obviously is out of the Blue Hen mare Puka, who is obviously the dam of Dornoch as well, and the dam of that really exciting horse Baeza on the West Coast. She's just done an unbelievable job with her first handful of foals, and MAGE is just a beautiful, gorgeous specimen, as you can see on the website with that big white blaze. He was fast, he was precocious, he could do it all, and he can do it all for your broodmare band as well. Make sure to check out Airdrie Stud, go see MAGE, and go see the rest of that stallion roster, because they do, like I said, I think pound for pound, one of the best in the business on that stallion roster, and we appreciate their support and the support of my guy MAGE. All right, I guess let's get to the standings. It was an action-packed weekend on the Derby Trail. We'll talk a little bit about it just from an analysis standpoint as well. But first, let's look at the standings. Jon Green has catapulted to a gigantic lead in the MAGE Rage Derby contest standings at 15.2 points. He is nearly 10 points ahead of second place, who is Sam Perry at 5.75, Michelle third at 4.9, Dan is fourth at 4.275. Thank you, John, for doing this divide by 10 bullshit. And I had my 1 week out of last place. I'm relegated back down to last at 3.25. There was a lot of movement. Rodriguez ran third in the decreased points race, the San Felipe, because it was a short field. John had Sovereignty win the Fountain of Youth. Sam had Journalism win the San Felipe. And then Michelle had River Thames run second in the Fountain of Youth. And then Dan had Barnes run second in the San Felipe. John, go ahead, vote.
No. I'm not like that, Joe. I won't step on people when they're down. I'm not the New York Times. I'm not punching down. That's no fun. I will say, however, though, that from a math standpoint, you were wrong. Right now, I'm up by whatever number of points because we divided by 10. I'd be up even more if it was multiplied by 10, if it was the actual points themselves. So, be careful what you wish for. Just be thankful that there's still crumbs on the ground for you to nourish yourself on.
They're just multiples. They're just multiples of each other. It's the same thing.
Well, you know what you have to look forward to, Joe, is that you can have the number one pick on the second round of the contest, which is coming up very quickly. It's only like 2 weeks away.
I'm banking on that, because otherwise you look at my team and it's basically just Sandman. Sandman is the only one who I have hopes for until we do that supplemental draft. But it was, those were two really impressive performances. Journalism in particular got a 108 buyer in the San Felipe. I didn't see that coming. Like, I had my doubts about Barnes stretching out to 2 turns, and I think he probably is still a nice horse, but I just don't want him going 1.25 miles. But I don't think he was particularly stopping. I thought Journalism came and got him and ran away in the stretch. I don't know, John. Does this reset the market for you in terms of 3-year-olds? Is he now the horse to beat?
I think that Journalism has always been a nice horse, and that he just proved himself that much more, in the San Felipe. He ran by those horses, not like they were standing still, because they were motoring. But he definitely improved as the distance got greater. Don't forget, this is his first race of 2025. He hadn't run since mid-December. So, he was literally knocking the rust off, not literally, but figuratively knocking the rust off for this race, and maybe hasn't even peaked yet. But Joe, no discredit to Barnes or Rodriguez, because they, on buyer numbers, they actually ran better numbers than the winners of the Fountain of Youth and the Gotham. So if it was for different placement purposes, again, everything being equal, they also ran pretty impressive races as well. Would I want to trade for them? I don't know about that. But Journalism was so impressive. I thought Sovereignty ran a huge race in the Fountain of Youth also. Some people are saying that it had less to do with River Thames maybe thinking that they won and kind of slowing it down at the end. But I really think that Sovereignty ran a huge race in the Coolmore Fountain of Youth. And the races in New York, I thought were interesting from a buyer standpoint, from a speed figure standpoint. On the eye test, I don't know if Flood Zone, if I would, necessarily take Flood Zone or Sand Devil, respectively, over any of the other horses that are in the contest or that are in the top 20 in the points. But Flood Zone ran a 98 buyer, which is still a really good number, especially at this stage of the game. But overall, if you asked me, hey, who was the most impressive? Journalism was the most impressive, and I think he ran the fastest buyer number in that race since California Chrome. I mean, it went back over a decade since then. But he is a really super horse and proved it, albeit in a short field.
Yeah, and it was. I read that it was the fastest buyer number that wasn't in one of the final preps.
Right.
In like at least 10 years. So that was crazy impressive. And I stand by what I said. I think it's been borne out. We talked about this in like December, how strong of a crop this looks like.
Yep.
Last year was a really strong crop at 3-year-olds. And I said like November, December, just from the 2-year-olds I was seeing, this looked like a really strong crop too. So I hope we don't have those people who are, habitually every year complain about the weakness of the 3-year-olds, because this looks like a really, really good crew. And I'm interested to see the next Derby future wager, how that shakes out. Because you still got 2 months to go. Today is officially 2 months until the Derby. The Derby is Saturday, May 3rd. We're recording this on Monday, March 3rd. Let me look at my calendar, make sure I'm right about that. Yes, I said it with confidence because I was right. 2 months away from the Derby. Cannot wait. It's only going to get better from here.
Yeah. And Joe, one more thing, just while we're talking, just to throw in our other sponsor, Arian Pedigrees, who I know, we're putting up the pedigrees of some of these winners. Did you know that this weekend, Vixen, Sovereignty, Journalism, and Flood Zone were all the first stake winner of their respective mares? So, when people look at catalog pages, and again, we're showing them right now with Arian's pedigree analysis, or pedigree products, when you look at these horses as yearlings and 2-year-olds, it's not just, there's so much black type in here that I should win. It's what you think you can project to. The fact that there were 4 graded stake winners, a couple of them that are on the Derby campaign, that were their first stake winners for each respective mare, that goes to show you that you can find a good horse pretty much anywhere.